Hello, welcome to Meridia. This is your host, Tariq. So, some of you have asked me what's the impact of doing a MBA, Masters in Business Administration for MDs, and if you are an MD right now and you're thinking about doing an MBA, what are the things you should be considering? So, I'm gonna give my brief insight on this. I am currently studying for MBA, and I'll tell you how I applied, why I applied, where I applied. So I'm going to discuss each of these points really quick. Number one thing is the fee. See, when I was applying, I had multiple options, and fee was one of the most important things. You might think that you're an attending and you can pay all the high fee. So just for example, let me tell you that the weekend MBA at Wharton was $209,000 for the 2 years program, and so that was a big thing that I learned that there are some programs like Johns Hopkins or University of Pittsburgh, and they're charging close to $100,000, and then there are some very very good programs that are charging $40,000, $60,000, $70,000. So one more thing that I learned was that the amount of fee that you pay for your MBA does not necessarily mean that it's better education. It's more like the brand name that you're getting of the university. So the bigger the name, they're generally gonna try to charge more. I personally just went to top online MBAs, and I looked at the top 10 universities, and I ended up picking the one that was cheapest in the top 10, and I ended up going to Arizona State University. I think my experience has been pretty good so far. Now that's the number one thing that you got to look at is the fee, how much you're willing to pay for your 2 years. Then there is the question of synchronous versus asynchronous. See, synchronous is when you have to go in person, or at least forget about the in person, but or if you're doing an online MBA, there are dedicated fixed timings like 7 p.m. Wednesday night. That is the lecture time. You have to be there on Zoom or whatever platform you're using to attend the lectures. I didn't really find it very suitable for myself because I'm an interventional radiologist and I'm on call a lot of times, and sometimes I have an emergent case and I can't really possibly attend all the synchronous sessions. So that wasn't a synchronous MBA, wasn't for me. Then there is an option of asynchronous MBA, which I really liked, that you do things at your own pace, at your own time, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 6 p.m. Whenever you're free, you do your assignments, you submit it. Generally, they do have weekly deadlines that you have to fulfill. They give you time, okay, every Sunday or every Thursday you have to complete your assignments, but you can do them anytime. So I really liked it. Then there are some mixed MBAs in which you will have some sessions of synchronous and some asynchronous ones. So this is the online MBA. Then the regular routine MBA is always there, going in person to staying there on the campus and doing an MBA. That wasn't an option for me because I don't really have any top university nearby me, and I would not really consider leaving my full-time job and pursuing an MBA, during the daytime. So that wasn't an option. Then there are two other options. There are like, depending on if you're in a big city, there are some evening MBAs. You can go and take classes in the evening, or there are weekend MBAs like Wharton has it. You stay there, I think, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you spend there like 2 weekends a month. University of Pittsburgh has a similar one. You spend like 2 weekends a month or 1 weekend a month, something like that. And you study extensively throughout those 2 weekends, and then you do assignments in your off time. So those are your weekend MBA options. Personally, for me, asynchronous I think was really suitable for me. It really helped me, but at the same time, hear me out. The problem with the online MBAs, synchronous or asynchronous, is that you're not really sitting in person with your students, with the other students, and you don't make that friendships. And so the people who did these weekend MBAs, they told me that MBA is all about networking, meeting these professionals who will be big names and big companies in the future. And if you're doing your MBA in person, evening MBA or weekend MBAs, you develop those strong social contacts. You got, it really helps with networking. And this is, I think, a part where you will miss out definitely if you do online MBA. That being said, the question was what I was trying to answer myself is what I'm trying to achieve. I'm not trying to, go into a top Forbes 500 company or something. I'm doing this to become a hospital executive, hopefully in future. So to answer that, I felt like I don't need that strong social networks. But who knows? That's my personal opinion. But like, let's say if you're not an MD and you're looking to do an MBA, I think that would really help you because in the business world, in the corporate world in America, it's more about who you know. The next one is executive MBA versus regular MBA. So what is an executive MBA? If you don't know, it's more like a quick MBA. You're done in 1 year. You're only studying very high end stuff, and the assumption is the basic stuff. Also, the requirement for most of the executive MBAs is that you need to have at least few years of management experience. So if you're a director, a chairman of your department, and it also you can do an executive MBA, and it also depends on what kind of experience did you have. Were you ordering a lot of stuff? Were you making a lot of management corporate decisions, or somebody else was doing that for you? So if you have some degree of knowledge about economics, finance, statistics, management, then you can consider that. I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about executive MBA. There was one place that was ready to let me do that, but I ended up not doing it because I think I needed some knowledge about the basics of these subjects before going for the advanced option. So I ended up not doing it. But that's always an option. Now, the hybrid MBAs, what do I mean by hybrid MBAs? These are the ones that are offering you a joint degree. Especially if you're looking to go into hospital administration, there's a combined MBA MHA program. MHA is Masters in Hospital Administration. Then there are other options. Rather than doing an MBA, do an MHA. If that's what your only focus is, to go into hospital administration. There's MMM. Some universities are offering that, which is Masters in Medical Management. It is typically 1 to 1.5 year program. So there are multiple different options. There's also online MBAs for doctors. I think University of Alabama had an excellent program, which was actually my second choice. So there are different options. Now, it's up to you to decide which one do you want to go for. If you want to go into more specific hospital administration side, I think MHA is very, very helpful. If you want to be more generic and you're thinking that you don't know, you might go into hospital administration, you might go into pharmaceutical companies, you might transition towards electromedical equipment companies, then a general MBA might help you more. Now the question is it really worth it? Studying all this time, pursuing an extra degree, is it really worth it? See, in its isolation, it's not. I talk to a lot of people who are executive physicians right now, and I asked them, not necessarily all of them had a master's degree in business or medical management or hospital administration. Most of them did. I'll say 70 to 80%, but there were still 10 to 20% of people who didn't have any of those degrees. What was the one thing that all of them had? That was some kind of job experience, in management, executive physician job experience. If you have that, then that is one thing that really helps you. Yes, an MBA or a MHA or an MMM can supplement that, make you look like a much better candidate overall. But, if you have been in the clinical side, never really working on the administrative side, never doing any management, you're not the director or the chairman, or not making any of the management related decisions, then an MBA alone is not going to help you. So I hope that clarifies some stuff for you. I hope this gives you some knowledge that if you're planning to become an executive physician, how to plan your career ahead. First, you should try to transition something, try to take some volunteer job in the management side, try to volunteer into different committees and gain some experience, and at the same time try to pursue another management degree so that it can supplement your CV. Then a combination of them both will help you big time become an executive physician. I hope this video helped you. If you think it did, please like it, share it with others, subscribe to the channel, and like I always say, never give up, never lose hope. Bye.